what's going on, movie matchers out there? Welcome to another episode of Movie Match. Hey, listen, today we're going to be talking about an epic battle that has been going on for centuries. Yes, we're talking about a battle of two epic titans. We're talking about Reptile versus Primate. Y'all already know it's Godzilla versus Kong. But before we get into it, we're going to ask you, please follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram if you haven't already. We want you to like, share. We want you to comment. We want to hear from you about this movie or any other movie that we discuss. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your opinions. And also on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Click that notification bell on the top. As simple as this. Watch this. And that's it. It'll let you know when we post another video. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive right into it. And you know how we typically do. We're going to tell you what we like about the movie. We're going to tell you what we don't like. And then we're going to rate the movie in our typical style in matchsticks. So I'm going to shoot over to Jelani. Jelani, tell us how you feel about this movie. Let's have it.
What's going on, guys? This is Jelani, and I'm 1/3 of the Movie Match crew, and I'm here to give you my review for Godzilla versus Kong. Now, I'm going to give you the things that I liked about the movie, and then I'm going to go into the things that I didn't like, and then I'm going to give you my final score, all right? So let's start with the things that I did like. From the very top, I loved the action. You know, every time Godzilla and Kong squared up, you know, it was a sight to behold. You know, they just went all out, demolishing things, you know. Pretty much everything that you expected this movie to be from the action standpoint, it was there. It exceeded my expectation. It was great. You know, spoiler review, you know, they were fighting Mecha Godzilla at the end. So when they teamed up and they fought him, it was great. I have zero complaints when it comes on to that. Also, the visual effects were awesome. It's second to none. I mean, I don't know if the Oscar nominations happened already, but if it didn't, and I'm not sure if this is on their list of nominees, but the VFX were great. You know, the realism of the way Kong looked and Godzilla looked, it was great. It was great. I have zero complaints about that. You know, especially in the times that we're in now, you know, you can do so many great things with technology, and they embraced it. They didn't shy away from it. They embraced it. You know, just everything that had to do with the VFX was great. I have no complaints about that. That was awesome. Also, Brian Tyree Henry, he was really funny in this one. You know, typically he's more in a serious role. He's playing more of the bad guy, you know, but this one he was playing like a quirky, nerdy type, you know, role, which I thought was kind of a departure from what I usually see him play. I mean, I haven't really seen him in a whole ton of movies, but I thought he was really funny in that. As well as the young lady that played the deaf girl. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, guys. But, you know, she was great. Just the display of emotion that she showed, you know, because she didn't have any speaking roles. I believe she's deaf in real life. But, you know, it speaks volumes when you can express whatever emotion that you're feeling, when you can express it on your face without having to say a word. You know, that says a lot about someone's acting ability. So I hope that she gets a lot more roles in the future. So those are the things I liked. What I didn't like is the human aspect of it. You know, the human character. I found it was kind of boring, to be honest with you. One of the things that got me invested into the MonsterVerse, from the 2014 Godzilla movie to the Kong Skull Island, is just that the human aspect. You know, you look at, you know, Bryan Cranston's character in the 2014 version, you know, him having to, you know, sacrifice his wife. You know, y'all got to go back and watch that movie, and then his relationship with his son, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. You know, those things really compel me, because when you watch a MonsterVerse or a monster movie, you know, with two monsters fighting, you know, that's always going to be there, you know, but I need something that's going to keep me engaged when the monsters are not fighting. And that's where I feel that this movie suffered. And the movie that came before it, Godzilla King of the Monsters, those two movies suffered majorly from the human aspect of it. I know everybody's, oh, it's about monsters fighting. I get it. And that's what I like about the movie. But if I find myself out of the movie when they're not fighting, then it's like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm really not interested in anything else that's going on, you know? And that's what happened with this movie, Godzilla versus Kong, is like when they weren't fighting. and they didn't really fight that often. When they fought, it was good, but I just wanted more of it. And then there was like a subplot with the Hollow Earth, and those things just really just didn't interest me. I thought there were also some wasted characters. I can't remember Ken Watanabe's character's name in Godzilla 2014, as well as King of the Monsters, but his son was in this movie, but I don't think they ever addressed it as his son. The only reason I know it was his son is because I saw the name and I went back and looked it up. I'm like, why didn't they mention it? How he got involved, his relationship with his father. I wanted to see them dive more into that. Eliza Gonzalez, her character, I think was wasted because she was barely in the movie, and I'm hearing stories about her role being cut down, even though she filmed a lot. But you can just tell that there were more things to some of these guys' backstory that didn't quite make the film, and that I think it could have made it more interesting. Certain characters they could have dove deep into. Lance Reddick, he's from the John Wick franchise. His character kind of just seemed wasted. He was there for like 2 seconds. I think he filmed more. And then also, there's another character that was in there, the young man that was in Deadpool 2. He was in this movie, and he was playing Millie Bobby Brown's friend, Millie Bobby Brown from, the Stranger Things franchise, And even her, I kind of felt like, I don't want to say she didn't have much to do. She did, but to me, it just wasn't interesting enough. And I felt like his character was just there for the punchlines, which most of them really weren't funny. Like, I'm like, why is this kid even there? He's cracking jokes. Hardly any of them landed for me. Like I said, the only time I really laughed in the human character aspect was with Brian Tyree Henry. Rebecca Hall, her character, she was all right. Like, she didn't bore me, but there was nothing to be excited about. So yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. Even in Kong Skull Island, you had people like John Goodman, you had Tom Hiddleston, you had Brie Larson, you had, who am I missing? John C. Reilly. You had all these great actors there. I know I'm missing some people, and the way that they all interacted with each other. When there wasn't a huge action sequence going on, there were interesting things in the movie when it came onto these human characters that really compelled me. That's why Kong Skull Island is at the top of the MonsterVerse. Out of all 4 movies, Kong Skull Island is at the top of it because it combined great action, great visual effects, and great character moments in all of it, and it had a lot of heart, So that's at the top of the list for me as far as the MonsterVerse. But yeah, so overall, like I said, the movie was enjoyable while the monsters were fighting, but it didn't happen as much as I would like, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if what was happening when they weren't fighting was interesting, which it really wasn't. Not in this movie for me. So I said all that to say, my final score for this, I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5 matches. All right. Like I said, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. It was just pretty mid. I'll probably watch it again just to see if my mind sways one way or the other. But as it stands right now, it's 2.5 out of 5. I'm going to kick it back to the host of the show. And you guys, we'll see you next time when we review our next film. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jay, for your review. Now we're going to shoot it over to Danny. Danny, go ahead and give us your likes and dislikes about the movie, and go ahead and give us your rating. Let's go.
So here we go. What up, movie matchers? Godzilla versus Kong. So here are my thoughts real quick. I enjoyed the movie. It was fun. It was a monster movie as expected. I wasn't expecting much more than it. Much more than that. It was one of those movies that, you just want to have a good time, grab some popcorn, and just enjoy the ride, right? And as such, that's what it was. But with all that being said, out of all the monster movies that have come out since 2014, I would have to say it wasn't my favorite. I still enjoyed Godzilla more, and even more so Kong Skull Island. I think that's my favorite out of the genre so far. Throughout all those monster movies, that one was by far my favorite one, Kong Skull Island. But this one was fun. There were some things that that I kind of questioned, that were kind of like, you know. In the other films, you had some of the, you know, human moments that were great. In Godzilla was, you know, the husband and wife, which was kind of weird, which was Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, but at the same time, you know, those moments were good. And in Kong, you had, you know, the team that was trying to figure out what was going on Skull Island and stuff like that. And, you know, even those moments there that were great. And even in the second Godzilla film, between, you know, the mother and the father and the daughter, those moments were kind of better than this one. The human interaction with this one, I felt like it was kind of forced. Some of the story didn't make sense, you know, how they all interacted and how they got together, how they, you know, kind of found their way in certain areas, and how they found their way to Japan. Ultimately, it was kind of sketchy to me. So that was whatever. The human interaction that I really enjoyed was the little girl with Kong, which I thought was great. By far, to me, Kong was the star of the film. He had the most you know, he had the most by far character development, I guess, for lack of a better word. He showed range out of all the characters in the film. You saw heart, you saw bad, you know, his anger, his toughness. You saw all range of emotion from Kong. Even that scene where he like knocks his shoulder back into place, I was like kind of crazy. I enjoyed it. Even like the heartfelt moments where he's searching for you know, more of his kind. You know, he showed a lot of range. So to me, Kong was the star of the film. Even though Godzilla was like, you know, tearing up some tail, he was kicking some butt. No lie, like he ripped Kong a new one to kind of say like, yeah, I am the apex. I am the king of the monsters, which by far he showed it. Also, too, in this movie, I kind of figured it out 5 minutes into the film that there was going to be like a Mechagodzilla. When that first scene, Godzilla comes and attacks that government facility. When you saw that, I thought it was a pulsating heart type thing. And right off the bat, I was like, okay, I know it's going to be Mechagodzilla, and I know they're going to come together and fight him some way in the end. So it was too, I guess, off rip, too easy for me to figure out what was going to go on in the movie. But like I said, it's a monster movie. It wasn't, you know, wasn't going to be too deep anyway. So at the end of the day, I had fun with it. Like I said, the human interactions were kind of blah. They weren't as good as the other films. The fight scenes in this one were awesome. Going into what, I don't want to say Middle Earth. It sounds like Lord of the Rings, but I can't remember what they called it. Into the center of the earth. Even that scene was kind of confusing because they had to go through some vortex or some space-time continuum to get there, but then Godzilla somehow with his heat breath dug a hole through all the way through the center, so they found a way back out of there without having to go through that vortex to get back out, which was kind of like one of those plot holes to me that was kind of like whatever. But at the end of the day, I had fun with the movie. It was cool. I loved the fight scenes between him and Godzilla. I loved the end with them fighting Mechagodzilla. It felt a little bit Pacific Rim to me a little bit towards the end, but you know, all in all, I had fun with it. So in total, I give this movie 3 matchsticks. You know, just for the fun of it, monster movie. I enjoyed it. So give us your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comments. We want to know what you guys think. All right, talk to you guys next time.
Okay, thanks, Danny, for your review. Now it's my turn. Okay, so I thought that the movie was pretty good. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. One thing that I can say is that the CGI was really, really dope. Godzilla and Kong look fantastic. I love the details that they put into these two titans. I thought they looked very, very good. Hollow Earth was beautiful. I mean, the details, it almost looks like almost a planet on top of another planet, with the gravitational different pulls and things that it was doing, the different colors. I thought it was very well done. But that seems to be the only things that I really, really liked about the movie. The overall story, I thought it was pretty basic and very predictable. I think as the movie was going along, I was like, okay, this is going to happen next, and this is going to happen next. And that's exactly what happened. So I thought that it was pretty pretty basic, pretty predictable. There was no wow factor for me, no shock and awe factor for me in that movie. The actors, you had Millie Brown. Millie Bobby Brown. That's her name. She stars in Stranger Things. If you haven't seen it, go see Stranger Things on Netflix. Very good. They also had Julian Dennison, I think his name is, the kid that was on Deadpool, the one of the kid villain that was on Deadpool. He was on there. Lance Reddick, who was the hotel manager in the John Wick film series. They had some pretty good actors. Brian Tyree Henry. He's an upcoming actor. I think he's played some roles. I've seen him in Widows with Viola Davis. That was a pretty good movie. You need to check that out. But besides that, in terms of the actual actors themselves, they're fully capable. But I thought that the character development wasn't really that great. You saw little bits of who they were, but I felt like they could have done a lot more with those characters. And because the character development wasn't really that great, I felt that was a cause for a lot of gaps in the story. Not with the characters and how it relates to the battle between Kong and Godzilla. I felt that there wasn't really any connection. I felt like there were two separate storylines that was trying to blend into one and had little hints of it, but we didn't really get to see it. And there were still just a lot of questions after the film that I had. For example, they spoke about Hollow Earth and taking Kong there, where apparently this is his first time being there, I guess, but somehow they expected him to know where to go. Or they probably thought that he came from there and forgot, and maybe going there would jog his memory or whatever the case may be. But, he goes there and they expected him to go to, I guess where to find a power source. And then all of a sudden he knows where to go. So how did that happen? And then when they got to Hollow Earth, another question I had was, where are all the other Titans? Are they on Earth? Are they still there? Because obviously when they went to Hollow Earth, they fought, I guess, one of those lizard creatures, which Kong tore his head off and I guess drank his blood. It was hungry, which was pretty disgusting. But anyways, you had that aspect of it, but you didn't see any other Titans there. Were there only one Godzilla's down there, one type of Titan? Or, apparently there were multiple Kongs, because when they went to the throne room in Hollow Earth, there was an epic battle between Kong and I guess the other Godzillas. So, what happened to the rest of them? What happened to, is it just one Godzilla, that one Kong that, comes about every so often? I mean, there was just a lot of gaps in the story that I didn't really understand. But another question that I had was, did Godzilla and did Kong's history change? They're supposed to be in the same series with the other Godzilla films. And in 2019, Hollow Earth was introduced, where all the Titans came from. But in 2014, which is supposed to be all tied together, they said that Godzilla was created from a nuclear, I guess, event, and they caused another nuclear event, which woke up Godzilla, and that's where he came, and blah blah blah. But that's with Godzilla, and with Kong, they said he came from Skull Island, but now they're saying that that's where he is, and he came from Hollow Earth, and then he moved into Skull Island. So it's which one is it? Or we have to make sure that with the storylines, they weren't really lining up, and I think they didn't really connect the story well, even from the 2014 all the way till now. And then how did they build that command post in Hollow Earth, where it took them so much even to get there? So did they develop another way to go through that gravitational reverse action that happens when you go down to Hollow Earth? I mean, it was just a lot of different things that I didn't really understand. And the overall film was supposed to be mainly the battle between Godzilla and Kong. And I think even though the battles were there and it was very good, it was very epic, but at the same time, there wasn't really a lot of it. I mean, you had the first round where Godzilla obviously won because he almost drowned Kong. And then in round two and round three is kind of like, round two is like 2A and 2B because it was pretty much the same fight where Kong started off whooping butt. And then after that, Godzilla came back, put his hands on him, knocked him out. And that round goes to Godzilla. So, and then they both teamed up on Mechagodzilla, I guess, to beat him, which it's like it wasn't really a battle with them. I guess they kind of teamed up for that time period, but it was very short-lived, and I think that it could have been a lot more of that. So with all that said, I think I will give the movie a total of 2 matchsticks. Because I like the CGI and because I like the way Hollow Earth looked, I thought the battles between Kong and Godzilla was pretty good. But besides that, the lack of character development, the gaps in the story, I thought that there could have been so much more. I probably watched the movie a couple more times just to see if I possibly missed something. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But that's pretty much it. So I give that movie a total of 2 matchsticks. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You have our ratings for this movie, Godzilla versus Kong. But listen, we want to hear from you. Whether you agree with us, whether you don't, whether you thought our ratings were too high, too low, or perfect, it doesn't matter. We want you to comment. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you think. And that's what makes this YouTube channel so special. That's what makes you so special. It's because we get to talk about these movies that we all love. So once again, thank you. If you haven't already, we want to remind you, please follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. We want you to be part of the Movie Match family. Subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification button so that you know the next time that we post a video. So until the next time, the Movie Match Trio, we say y'all be easy. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And keep watching those movies. Until the next time, we'll see y'all later. Peace.